We had an insane weekend here at Cards HQ, spending over $200,000, and we're gonna go through and just check out some of the stuff and some of the cooler pickups that we were able to purchase in these lots. So we're starting off with some graded cards. Everybody loves Ascended Heroes. We got not one, but two Pikachu EXs, PSA 10s. And Ascended Heroes is just like a really fun set. Obviously, everybody's going for God packs. And these Pikachus are no joke. They look kind of like full arts, but they are a lot more expensive. Just super cool pickups. A Team Rocket's Mewtwo EX. This one's from Destined Rivals, which we ended up getting a bunch of booster boxes. So if you guys are looking for booster boxes, we will have a bunch, and they are case fresh, which is pretty cool. This is a PSA 8. So even though this is a PSA 8, the card itself is just pretty expensive. And so just being able to, it's just an easier card to be able to buy, especially if somebody just wants a binder copy or just to own the copy. An 8's a great way to pick one up. Getting into something that we don't really see very often is Italian Pokemon cards. Now we generally don't buy a whole lot of Italian Pokemon cards, but you can't go wrong with a first edition holo. And the Alakazam holo is such a cool card, especially at this holo pattern is just absolutely beautiful. It is super nice, and especially on a higher grade as a PSA 8, it is just hard to find these types of copies anymore. And then last but not least, we have the Japanese Sabrina's Gengar. This is a PSA 9, and this is the banned artwork. This is pretty neat. So originally they had a graveyard in the background, and then they ended up banning the artwork and changing it. So a lot of people think that this card in particular is just a little bit cooler, just because we don't have this version in English. It is only exclusive to Japanese. And yeah, I mean, what a beautiful card for a PSA 9. It's hard to find, again, these like rare copies in high grades. All right, let's see what else we got here. Let's keep moving on to, we got some Japanese graded over here, so let's keep moving on to that. Starting off with the Mega Greninja EX, PSA 10. This is the Japanese one from Ninja Spinner. Just a super cool card, and again, the gold EXs, like the hypers, are just harder to find. Just neat copies in PSA 10s. Moving on, everybody loves this Magikarp. Let me move actually the sticker out of the way so you can actually see the Magikarp. Magikarp is definitely one of the bigger cards from the Scarlet and Violet era, and I mean, what a beautiful artwork. The English version of this card is absolutely popping off right now, going for just crazy, crazy amounts. The Japanese card isn't going for as much as you saw. It's around 400 bucks, which is not bad considering how much the English card is going for. But again, just a neat version that if you're trying to get a cheaper copy of this card, going for a different language is always better because you can get the same quality for just a lot cheaper. So moving on to some really unique artworks, we have the Pikachu from the Japan post box. And we were able to pick up not one, but two copies of this card in PSA 10s. Now I remember when the Japan post boxes first came out, they were going for only a couple $100. Now this Pikachu in a PSA 10 is going for around $4,200, which is pretty crazy to think about. If you're able to just buy a couple of those boxes and grade them and keep these cards have significantly gone up over the past couple years, especially the last year. Unfortunately, we weren't able to pick up the Cramorant, which would have been really cool to just display both of these cards, but can't complain about picking up two of the Pikachus. And then speaking of Pikachu, these cards are super hard to grade with a lot of the other promos just because of how they're packaged. So most of the time, either the corners get dinged up or there's just dents in the card. But this card being a PSA 10 is extremely rare to find and very expensive, as you can see, with generally promos going for like basically nothing, and most people throw away the promos, and probably most of you guys throw away promos too. This, over time, the promos can actually get pretty expensive, going for like $2,200 in a 10 for this Pikachu. And then we also have some more cards that you generally don't see. We have some first editions base set. We have two trainer cards. Now these trainer cards, most people wouldn't really expect them to be that much, but they're couple hundred. This one's 600, this one's 1,000. And these are so expensive just for the fact that they're PSA 10s. And if you're trying to set collect, master collect, first edition base set, which will get very expensive going for the holos, these are cards that you're gonna need for your set and just kind of like fun pieces of history from Pokemon. I mean, having first edition base set cards in PSA 10s are very rare to find, even just being super potions and potions not being as widely like sought after. Being that expensive just because it's a first ed base set, PSA 10 is pretty neat. So these are graded, just base set booster packs in PSA 9s. We were to pick up 3 Venusaurs and then also actually 4 Venusaurs, sorry. The guy had some Blastoises, but unfortunately I couldn't come to an agreement on the Blastoise, but we were able to at least pick up these Venusaurs. Super, super cool. Again, if you're trying to just collect packs, I personally like to collect packs as well. Having them graded just helps them keep them in nicer condition and just preserve them, and then just make sure that they're authentic over time if I end up wanting to sell them, or just as a really nice display piece. These are a lot better than just like your average booster pack where it's like not as shelf friendly. These are definitely a lot better to display as graded packs. We're gonna move on to some wax now. So we were able to find a handful of really cool blister packs. So we were able to get some just older ones, some Sun and Moon and some XY. So we were able to pick up Celestial Storm, Forbidden Light, and then XY Evolutions, and I guess just some more Forbidden Light, as well as just a variety of other packs as well. But these are the blister packs we were able to get. Let me show you all the packs we were able to get. So you're able to get a mix of some Sword and Shield, some Sword and Shield, I guess Scarlet and Violet as well, but I won't show those off as much. And then we have some Sun and Moon and X and Y. And starting off with some XY, we got some Evolutions booster packs. We got Crimson Invasion, Sun and Moon base. And then we got Detective Pikachu, which is actually a really neat set. There's not many cards in the set and you only get 2 cards per pack, but it's just a really neat, just fun set that kind of shows off some fun characters from the movie Detective Pikachu. As well as we got some Burning Shadows packs. We actually ended up getting to pick up a bunch of stuff. So more Celestial Storm, some Ultra Prism, Forbidden Light. And these packs you just generally don't see as much anymore. The past couple years we've definitely seen less and less of these. So it's just neat whenever we're able to find some, we end up just picking more and more up. Got some XY Breakthrough, which is really cool. And then some Dragon Majesty, which I just love the artworks on these packs for Dragon Majesty. As well as coming up with some really cool stuff, we got Emerging Powers. So it's more black and white packs, or this is the first black and white pack that we're showing off. Emerging Powers is such a fun set, and it's just always neat to just have older and older packs. Moving on to some newer packs, we got some Sword and Shield. We were able to pick up some Chilling Reign, Evolving Skies, which has the Moonbryon in it. Evolving Skies is such a crazy set. Some more Ultra Prism, Lost Origin, some Lost Thunder, which was one of my favorite sets with the Lugia in it. More Evolving Skies, and then some Ancient Origins, which is just a crazy set. You're able to rip it and just, you can pull some insane cards in here. We were able to pick up a bunch of really cool packs, and I'm hoping that through our streams or just in store, we're able to watch some people hit some pretty big cards out of these. Some Crown Zenith, more Ultra Prism, and then Brilliant Stars, Darkness Ablaze. We got some Pokemon Go, which if you guys play Pokemon Go, you'll enjoy this artwork. Definitely a fun set to rip, especially if you enjoy the game. Some Surging Sparks, more Brilliant Stars. And then we're actually able to pick up a booster box worth of packs of Steam Siege. So most people don't like Steam Siege and kind of think it's like the worst set that Pokemon has printed. But the booster box and the packs alone have gone up a lot. The booster box being around $1,200. So it's kind of crazy to think about like how bad a set can be or perceived to be and still grow in value over time. So you're able to pick up 3 stacks of these. Let's see if I can hold them all. There we go. So we got 36 packs of Steam Siege. Pretty neat, and again, can't wait to see if somebody hits the Gardevoir or just some like other cooler cards out of this set. Moving on to even more packs, we were able to pick up more Lost Origin, and then some newer ones like Destined Rivals, Prismatic Evolutions, and Journey Together. And then here's just some other packs. Again, more packs from some of the stuff that we got earlier, like Surging Brilliant and Pokemon Go. And then we have some XY base. Now you really don't see XY base anymore at all. So it's just even booster boxes, ETBs, even just loose packs. So finding loose packs is just kind of a neat addition to the collection here. Then we have base set black and white, which these you really don't see anymore. Black and white are super, super rare at this point. So it's just kind of neat to see these, and I really can't wait to see some of these get purchased and ripped. And then we got 1 pack of Furious Fists, and then some Guardians Rising. And then last but not least, we were able to pick up 2 Japanese Team Rocket booster packs. These are just insane. They're going for about $1,000 a pack now. So these are really expensive, and just some of the original artworks and some of the original cards you can get from like the original series of Pokemon. And then some Chilling Reign, Double Crisis, which I thought was really cool. I was super happy I was able to find this. Double Crisis is just such a neat set, and I'm really hoping that somebody is able to pull just some insane cards out of this set. This is such a fun set to rip. And then last but not least, we got some Brilliant Stars. So generally some of the stuff that we don't buy a crazy amount of, but we started buying a little bit more, is Chinese Pokemon cards. And this card specifically, the Lisa's Appeal, is an exclusive artwork to Chinese booster boxes, which is really neat. You can't get it anywhere else, so the only way you can get this specific artwork is in the Surging Sparks box in China. So just kind of a neat addition to their products, especially with them trying to catch up. And then we have the Greninja EX, the Pikachu EX, Latias EX, and then the Celeruge. And just some fun, neat pickups. These are definitely, if you're just looking for binder copies of these cards or just want to own these artworks, it's a great way to be able to buy these cards for a lot cheaper of a price, minus maybe the Lisa's Appeal because it's an exclusive artwork. And then moving on to more Chinese exclusive artworks, we have the Pikachu, or the Captain Pikachu, from Gem Pack 1. They just came out with Gem Pack 5, which has another version of this Captain Pikachu, but just such a neat card and a really cool addition from the shows. Then we picked up a Mega Gengar Pristine 10 in Japanese from Mega Dream, a first edition Dark Charizard, unfortunately non-holo version and not the holo version, but regardless, such a cool pickup and just a beautiful card overall in a BGS 9. And then another Charizard, we got the Charizard GX from Hidden Fates in a PSA 9. We were also able to pick up a Flash Fire booster box. These are going for about $8,000 right now. They kind of have been fluctuating a lot, with some of them going for like $9,000, but kind of some of the recent sales have kind of brought it back down to $8,000. And this is just a extremely hard box to find in the XY era, especially with them having a crazy amount of Charizard chase cards, which everybody knows Charizard is one of the best Pokemons to pull when you're trying to chase cards from different sets. And this just has tons and tons of Charizards in it. Super, super cool box and extremely hard to find sealed. So excited to finally bring this back into the showcases. And then moving on to bringing something cool into the showcases, we have a Japanese Jungle booster box. Now this box is worth probably roughly around $55,000. And this is an extremely hard box to find sealed. If you do any research or try to look this box up, you're really not going to find most of the boxes sealed or just any information at all on it. Heritage even sold an open box without the seal for around $53,000 recently. So this is an extremely expensive box. There are 60 packs of Jungle in it, and you are guaranteed a holo in each pack. That's just how they did it originally. So it's really, really cool to just see one of these boxes like sealed, especially in this nice of a condition. And this is just an absolute beautiful box. Really nothing too wrong with it. There's a little thing, like a little nick right here in the front, but other than that, an absolutely beautiful box, and excited to finally put this in the, or finally have one and put it in the showcase and actually just see one. Most people don't even get to see these anymore, so it's neat. You can kind of come into our store and be able to see a bunch of these products that you may have never seen before. It's kind of like a neat museum piece. And then we were also able to pick up, this is something that I personally haven't seen before, but I've seen a lot of cases. So we were able to pick up Destined Rivals booster boxes. We were able to pick up like 25 of them, most of them being in sealed cases. We did open up the case, so these are like Europe versions of booster box cases. So they just started kind of changing the design on them, and it looks and feels completely different. So there are, the way they package them are, it's a 3x2 instead of just a one long row of 6 booster boxes. They kind of condensed it a little bit. The cardboard itself is definitely thinner, and like the seal feels thinner. So it's just kind of a interesting change that they decided to do. And I'll kind of curious to see if they end up doing it over here in America over time. But this is the first time I saw a European booster box case in this version of it. So just kind of a neat thing to show off. We did open it obviously to just double check the booster boxes, and the seller wanted to open them up as well. So unfortunately don't have a sealed case of it, but if you want to pick up case fresh booster boxes of Destined Rivals, we will have some on display and for sale in our store. And then lastly, I wanted to go over something that is not a Pokemon card or just Pokemon in general, but we do buy a lot of One Piece, and so we were able to pick up some pretty big One Piece cards. So One Piece, like this is a pre-release winner from OP06. So there's a lot of just like really big cards we were able to pick up. Some of them ranging from like 500 bucks to probably around like 1,500 in this lot. So just a lot of just neat One Piece cards overall. The boa being about 1,000 bucks or 1,100 really. Monkey D. Luffy, again, just a lot of other neat SPs and just alternate arts. We were able to pick up a couple mangas. We were able to pick up a Sabo, a Podcast D Ace, and then a Monkey D. Luffy Japanese manga. Some treasure rare Namis and a like the pre-errata Nami alt art. Again, just some more Namis, more boas. Really, really beautiful cards. The 7-Eleven Monkey D. Luffy, which is really neat. And then just another alternate art. So a lot of these cards are just like a lot bigger cards, again, anywhere ranging from a couple hundred bucks to like probably like $2,000 to $3,000. Just some really, really neat pickups, and with One Piece just kind of continuously growing. Although we do a mix of everything here, just wanted to show off a couple other card pickups that we purchased. So I think that's everything I wanted to show off today. This is just, again, a portion of what we were able to pick up. I just wanted to show off some of the cooler purchases and some of the stuff we don't get to see as much. If you guys are interested in purchasing some of these things, we will have them available in store in Atlanta and on our website on cardshq.com.